Hi, I want to preface this video with the fact that I don't care. You can eat whatever you like, I won't judge, I really couldn't give a shit. That being said, I'm now going to give you 5 reasons that I can think of for people wanting to go vegan and nitpick them, basically. I'm basically trying to give you a better sense of things. It's my logistical, realistic brain going, okay, fair, but also, did you think about this? So this video is probably either going to get this video might help people. Like, generally there might be people that are, you know, whatever, like, I don't know. This video might help people. This video will probably piss a lot of people off. But either way, let's go through it. We'll get the straight up bad one out the way. Because it is a fad and or trendy. You people can fuck off. You can go fuck yourselves. If you do anything just for the simple fact that it's a fad or because it's trending, you can go fuck yourself. And then hopefully enough people will go fuck themselves that going to fuck yourself is a trend, which I think sounds quite fun, actually. The second reason why I thought of was, well, this isn't in order of I thought of them, actually. This is actually order of worst to best, I think, kinda. The last 3 are all kind of decent. So we'll get the two worst ones out of the way. But yeah, because your partner is making you get the fuck out. Get out, run, leave. That relationship will not be healthy. It's the same thing of, you hear people say that it's me or the dog, or it's me or video games, and I'm like, that is a toxic attitude. It's like, I'm not picking video games. I am not picking video games. I just don't feel the need to be with someone who's so immature they feel the need to give me that sort of ultimatum. Really, it is on the same level for me. It's the same level as stupid for me. And if you don't see that stupid, then you're part of the problem. If you are one of these people that refuse to date people based on what they eat, you're very weird and you should probably rethink your standards, but also go off, I guess. Again, I don't care. This is just my opinion. This is just a state of logical thought and a whole bunch of stuff. But seriously, I think that is just a really toxic attitude to have, and maybe you should rethink it. Maybe? Going vegan for dietary reasons honestly is one of the more sensible. Yeah, okay, I can understand a lot of that. Obviously nutrients from fruit and veg more, and all of that, and also, like, I can understand wanting to avoid, like, meat fats and dairy fats and going more into, you know, plant-based milk, which probably is better for you in that aspect, and, you know, you get the idea, right? As for health, I can understand it. I have 2 nitpicks, because of course I do. This is the whole point of me doing this video, is having nitpicks and everything. The first is honey, which I'll get into more detail on the next one, but basically honey doesn't count. Honey should never count for veganism. But again, I'll explain that more in the next bit, because it's kind of more pertinent to that. The second, I would recommend keeping eggs. If you're doing veganism just for the sake of diet, I recommend keeping eggs, because eggs are a very good and very healthy source of protein, depending on how you cook them, and that's on you, right? Like, frying them, obviously, the more oil you use, like, you get good eggs from a really oily egg, it's obviously going to be a lot less healthy because you're cooking it in oil. But in generally speaking, eggs are a very good and very healthy source of protein, which, if you're not eating meat, you could kind of use. So, yeah, my recommendation would be to keep eggs in your diet if you are taking veganism as a source of diet. But otherwise, yeah, no, this is probably, out of all 5 I've written down, spoilers, this is probably the one that I agree with the most. The treatment of animals, this is gonna be a while. Let's start with the one that I brought up before, honey. Bees will either fuck off or die. That's it. Like, if they are not in an environment that's good for them, if they're not being cared for properly, they will either leave or they will just die. And either way, you're not getting honey from that. So if you're getting honey, the bees are being treated properly. And same with the last one. It's basically bees giving consent. Because if they don't consent to the whole situation, they will leave. They would just leave. They have that agency. More than, like, they are small and cannot be kept properly if you don't keep them properly. So they will just leave. As for overall things, I don't know if the rest of the world has something like this, and if they don't, push for your people in charge to do something like this. But here in the UK, we have the Red Tractor certificate. I did a little bit of research for this video. We have the Red Tractor certification, which for meat to have this on it, it has literally one of the requirements to earn the certification is proper welfare of your animals, which is great. I love having that. Makes it a lot easier. My other recommendation is butchers. Buy local, buy butchers or farm shops, because you can ask, you can have that conversation. Generally, if a butcher doesn't want to have that conversation with you, they're either a bad butcher, there's three things. Possibly they're just busy. If they're busy, then and they probably don't have time for that conversation. But if they're not busy, then they're either probably a bad butcher or, yeah, they're probably getting it from somewhere not great. But if they're willing to have that conversation with you, likelihood is you can get that information. So honestly, I see kind of treatment of animals as a reason for veganism being a little lazy. But it's fine. It's fine. It's understandable, but yeah, just do a little bit of research. You can find properly treatments of animals as well. If you're one of these people that thinks meat in general is like just eating meat in general is a mistreatment of animals, I'd say that's the worst way of looking at it. Take wool, for example. Wool is 100% a byproduct of the animal's existence. It is very good to shear a sheep. Like, they get way too hot in the summer if they're not sheared. So it is very good for the sheep, and as long as it's done by a professional, doesn't hurt at all. I say that because obviously a non-professional might cut them, but a professional won't. So, yeah, as long as it's done by a professional, they wouldn't be hurt by the process. The wool is useless to them thereafter, so there's no reason why we shouldn't use it. And I think the same goes for their life. Like, treat them as well as possible during their life, but when they're dead, use that. And I also agree with the idea of using as much of it as possible. I can understand why people don't want to use heads or, offal, the organs, but do as much of it as you can. Like, do with as much as you can. Like, sure, people don't want to eat the organs, but I'm sure you could do something like that. Grind that up. That probably makes good. Probably adds to fertilizer. Same with like bone marrow can. Whereas bone marrow is also edible. Like, there's so much you can do with the carcass of an animal. Like, I don't know. I think it is better to use all of it than use none of it. Because everything dies. It's going to die. You might as well get value out of it. And the last one is environmental impact, which is one of those ones that makes sense, but also it is also the easiest rebuttal for me. If I was to talk to someone, they're like, oh yeah, I'm vegan because of, the whole farming's impact on the environment, I would immediately go, well, so why are you vegan? Why are you vegan instead of just not consuming cows? Because I've seen the graphs. It's been a while, but I've seen the graphs. And there is such a big gap from cows to the next closest in environmental impact purely because of the amount of methane they produce. If you want to reduce environmental impact, stop buying beef, stop buying milk, and don't buy anything leather. That's it. That alone would make a massive environmental impact. It's the one thing I'm generally considering doing is trying to cut beef. And if I lived on my own, I probably would more. Like, I wouldn't cut it entirely, but I'd make it a sometimes food more than chicken and pork, because I prefer chicken and pork and even lamb, or I guess it's mutton for sure. I don't know. No one sells mutton. It's always lamb, which I think is which is an argument in itself, honestly. But it's not an argument I'm gonna make because I don't know enough about the butchering process for that one, or like the aging process and stuff. Because I don't know. I'm pretty sure there is a reason for it. Like, I think muttons. Again, I'm not. That is not my area of expertise. But this stuff kind of, I have some a bit more knowledge in. But yeah, if you care about environmental impact, then 100%, I understand you giving up products of cow. And here's the thing, because if you're giving up everything, you effectively aren't shifting a market. If you give up products of cow and eat more pork, for example, then people will see that. People will see that pork is selling better than beef and will farm more pork than cows. People, I continue to hate capitalism. and economics in general as it stands. But again, a lot of the world is driven by economic impact, and so you can vote with your wallet effectively. If you want people to make an environmental difference, it's actually probably better for you to buy chicken or buy pork or whatever, not buy beef. Expressly don't buy beef, because you buying nothing is no effect to the market, but you buying one thing and not another is a visible, notable thing on the market, especially if a lot of people are doing it. If every vegan that thought, I'm vegan for environmental impact, started buying chicken, then the chicken market would go up a lot. The beef market would stay where it is, if not go down. Now, if not, because the chicken market would probably rise quite significantly, go down slightly. There is only ever going to be so much space for that farming. Forcing that space into something other than production of cows would be better for the environment. This is mostly speculation, but it's speculation based on, logical, a vague understanding of the logistics of a whole bunch of things, but generally that is probably better than you doing nothing. Like, veganism is effectively the not voting equivalent. Like, if you don't like a party, vote against that party, don't vote for nobody. If you're in America and you're in a two-party system and both of the parties are awful, vote third party. Because not voting does nothing. Voting third party, or if you have a large enough group of people, invalidating your ballot says more. Validating your ballot is a bit harder. You need a large group of people. You'd need a very large group of people all acknowledging that's the case, because it needs to be a noticeable black line to make a difference. But voting third party, the more that other set appears on the screen, the bigger that is, the less of a two-party system you have. You don't want a two-party system? Force yourself out of a two-party system. It's little by little. Honestly, you need to completely overhaul the whole system, because you've got an electoral college that doesn't work. You, on multiple occasions, I don't think that many, like 2 or 3, but on multiple occasions, Trump included, have had a presidency that didn't win the popular vote. That alone should be enough of a perspective to understand why that's a terrible source of government. I have gone completely off topic. But the whole point of me explaining that was, that is, the not voting, the choosing not to vote because both of the candidates are awful, is the same thing as veganism is to environmental impact, because you're just not a value. Like, if you're buying one thing and not another, then you are a notable value. It may not be the biggest impact, but it is more of an impact than doing nothing, effectively. Because generally, I'm pretty sure vegetable farming and animal farming are to some degree separate. At least separate enough where just buying more veg won't impact the stock of beef, There. I didn't know I don't know which of those sections were longer, but you can definitely tell that the last ones had more of a point than the first ones, I think. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. This is a little bit longer than I thought it was going to be. But I'm going to edit it down a little, because pauses and stuff. But yeah, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, share this video. If you know someone who's vegan, it'd be a great way to do it. Because I generally want to know. If there's any reason, if you are vegan, or if you know someone who's vegan for a reason that I haven't mentioned, please let me know. Please let me know if there's any topics you would like me to cover. I am quite happy to talk about pretty much anything. I'm very glad that this camera has a 20-minute time limit, because I would probably hit it on some I probably will hit it on some topics. I'm like, recording wise, like 3.5 minutes off for this alone, so you get the idea. I have a lot to talk about. I can talk for England if you were, which I don't know if it's a phrase anywhere else in the world, which probably means England wins by default, which good job England, we win it talking. I said something, I suppose. But yeah, that is this video. I thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe. I think I've said all this already. Share the video. I've definitely said that already. And yeah, there will be links to other videos on the channel. I just use the automated one, so I can't tell you what they are. One will be the one will be the latest video, or I guess if this is still the latest video, the second latest video. One will be a recommendation for you. I've sort of done a whole series of talking videos that are all the topic ellipsis question mark. Go look at the channel. There's a subscribe button somewhere. And that's me. Ta-ra. Bye.